everybody, this is Ogre Boy, and I'm going to be doing my top 10 favorite superhero movies of the 2010s. So for this list, it's movies from the year 2010 to this year and everything. And this was a really hard list to do. I had a really hard time just narrowing it down to 10 of them. So before I get into the list, I'm going to go ahead and do my honorable mentions. Wonder Woman, I really love that movie. It was one that I was disappointed with the first time I saw it because of the hype. And then on multiple rewatches, I just love that movie. It's such a great movie. Spider-Man Homecoming and Spider-Man Far From Home, I love both of those quite a bit. And Spider-Man Into the Spider-Verse, I like that one a lot too. Aquaman, and I thought that was a really good one. I'm trying to think, there was Incredibles 2, which is a really good sequel. I liked it just as much, if not more, than the first one. I think I'm one of the few people that really loved it. X-Men Apocalypse, it's one that I really like. A lot of people don't like. But yeah, so that's my honorable mentions. I pretty much can just say all the MCU movies that don't make this list are honorable mentions because I like all of the MCU movies. There's the only two that I'm not crazy for is The Incredible Hulk and Doctor Strange. But I love all the other ones and everything. So pretty much just give a shout out to all of the ones that came out this decade that don't make it onto my top 10. So I'll go ahead and get going. Number 10 is Guardians of the Galaxy. I absolutely love this movie. I remember when it first came out, I was seeing the trailers and I was like, that movie looks like a lot of fun and everything. And then I saw the movie and I really regretted not going to see it in the movie theater. I had a chance, I could have gone, and I ended up not going, and I really regretted not seeing that one in the theater when it came out. I absolutely loved it. Like most people, I didn't really know anything about Guardians of the Galaxy and everything. I had never really heard of any of the characters and stuff, and I thought this movie was a blast, and if I would have gone to see it in the theater. I missed out on a lot of the earlier MCU movies, catching them in the movie theater, but I really love this movie. So, Guardians of the Galaxy is number 10, and number 9 is Power Rangers from 2017. I absolutely love Power Rangers. I think it was a very underrated movie. It was way better than it had any right to be. And everything. It has a darker and more mature tone than the series it's based on and everything. And if you would have told me that they were going to do it that way and that it would work out really well, I would have thought you were crazy, because I thought the concept of doing a darker Power Rangers was just a really ridiculous idea. But they actually did a really good job with the movie. I like that you really get to know the characters throughout the first half of most of the movie is just really you getting to know the characters. They don't really have a lot of the action scenes and stuff until towards the end of the movie, but I think that really made the movie work, and I really hate that we didn't get a sequel to this one. Yeah, I went to see it just because somebody had asked me to review it, and I was like, I guess I'll go ahead and give it a shot, and I ended up loving it. It ended up being one of the biggest surprises of 2017 for me. So, Power Rangers is number 9, and number 8 is Deadpool. I absolutely love this movie. It's got a lot of good humor, and the action's pretty good. I think the action in the second movie was a little bit better. It had more action in it seemed like, but I still really like this one a lot more. It has I just love the humor in this movie, and I think that his origin story was told really well and everything, and Ryan Reynolds is absolutely perfect as Deadpool. Um, he's one of those actors that most of the stuff he's in I'm not real crazy for, that I've seen, but I absolutely love him as Deadpool, and I couldn't believe how amazing he was. I mean, he fits the role, and it's made me more willing to see stuff with him and be a bigger, and kind of makes me want to be a bigger fan of his than I used to be, because when he first started out, like when I was a teenager, I used to watch a lot of the raunchy comedies he was in and stuff, and most of them to me were not that great. I love Just Friends, and I thought Van Wilder was alright, kind of overrated, but I thought it was okay and everything. But a lot of his movies I was really disappointed in, but Deadpool kind of changed that and everything. I just thought he was really great in that movie. So, but yeah, I think it has a really good story, and the visual effects in here are really good. I mean, for the most part, and like I don't know if they did makeup on him or if they used CGI to make him look burnt and stuff like they did, but I still thought that however they did it, it looked really good. You couldn't tell if it was CGI or not, so if it was, then that was really good. But I just love Deadpool, so it's number 8, and number 7 is Batman vs. Superman. I've had, I don't know how many arguments with people in different Facebook groups and stuff about this movie. This movie is like really divisive. Most people I know don't care for this one very much, but I absolutely love it. It is kind of cheesy, like the reason they stopped fighting is because their moms have the same name, but I see what they were trying to do with it. They were trying to make it where Superman has humanity, and it like redeems Bruce and everything. I understand what they were doing with it, and even though it's cheesy, I still like it a lot. The only thing is, I think the title is misleading because they only fight for about maybe 10-15 minutes at the very most. But I really enjoy this movie. It is a slow burner, and there's not a lot of superhero action throughout most of the movie until the last act. But I still really love it. I'm probably the only person besides, well, actually I know one other person that thought that Jesse Eisenberg was great as Lex Luthor. I thought he just did a really good job, and I love the introduction to Wonder Woman and everything. Although I think they could have saved her for Justice League. I think they did rush things with the DCEU a lot and everything. Even though I do love this movie, and I love all the DCEU movies, but I do think that they could have been even better if they would have taken their time, and I think they should have done that with Batman vs. Superman. But all in all, I still really love this movie and everything, so it's number 7. And also, I gotta say, Ben Affleck is probably my favorite Batman actor since Michael Keaton. I just thought he was amazing. So, but yeah, so Batman vs. Superman Dawn of Justice is number 7, and number 6 is Justice League. I had really debated whether I wanted to put this one on here, because it does have its flaws, like the terrible CGI and the editing and tone and stuff is like really weird. But this movie is just one of those that I love to watch. It's just like a fun popcorn movie. It's not as good as some of the other movies on this list, but I just really love it. I think it's a lot more fun, or a lot of fun and everything. It could have been, and should have been, a whole lot better than it was, though. I mean, for being the first movie to put all of these DC characters together, it should have been a lot better, a lot longer than it was. I think 2 hours was too short of running time, and I think they should have planned things out a little bit better, because they should have at least waited till after Aquaman and maybe The Flash got their own movies before they did it. But all in all, I think Justice League is a really good movie, and it's really underrated. I think it doesn't really deserve the hate it gets, because it is a lot of fun. Is it a perfect movie? No, by any means, but it is a fun movie. Yeah, I always enjoy watching it. So Justice League is number 6, and number 5 is Batman Under the Red Hood. I absolutely love this one. It's easily one of my favorite Batman movies. The whole cast is great in here. Can't remember who does the voice of Joker in this one, but he did a really good job. And I think Kevin Conroy came back for this one, but I can't remember. It was either him or the other guy, Jason O'Mara, I think is his name. I can't remember which one it was that did the voice of Batman in this movie, but whoever it was did a really great job, and I just absolutely love this one. I debated whether to put this one or The Dark Knight Returns on here, because I do like the Dark Knight Returns movies, the 2 parts. I actually have the deluxe edition where it's all one movie. I think that's a really great movie too, and I almost put that one on here, but I decided to go with Under the Red Hood because I like that one a little bit more. So I'd like to give the Batman The Dark Knight Returns a honorable mention that I forgot to mention earlier. And also Justice League Doom, I like that one a lot too. But yeah, so Batman Under the Red Hood is just a really good movie. I love the story, and that scene at the end when Jason Todd is talking to Batman, and he's like getting emotional, saying that he didn't understand why the Joker was still alive for taking him away from him and stuff like that. That was a really powerful voice acting performance. I thought that was just done really well and everything. But yeah, so Batman Under the Red Hood is number 5, and number 4 is Captain America Civil War. This is easily one of my favorite MCU movies. I just absolutely love this one. As a big Iron Man fan, I love that we kind of get to see Iron Man versus Captain America and everything. I was Team Iron Man all the way, especially towards the end of the movie. But I also like that they make it where both sides have really good points, and it's understandable why both sides are the way they are. Yeah, I think that's a really good thing for the movie. Yeah, and also we got the introduction to Spider-Man in the MCU, which was great, and Black Panther. I knew that I was going to be a big fan of both of them after seeing this movie. And I absolutely love Captain America Civil War and everything. So it's number 4, and number 3 is Shazam. This is one of those that I went to see it with little expectations and everything. I figured it was just going to be an okay movie, but I fell in love with Shazam when I saw it. It might even be my favorite DC movie. It even dethrones the 78 Superman movie for me to be my favorite DC movie. I just absolutely love Shazam and everything. I can't wait to see what happens next when the Shazam sequel gets out. I think the cast was great, especially Zachary Levi. I thought he was really good. He was really believable that he was like a kid in an adult's body, and I love this movie. I think it was just a lot of fun. And I just can't wait to see what happens next. I know that they're making a Black Adam movie at some point, and they're going to make it where Shazam goes up against him. I'm looking forward to those movies and everything. I hope that they keep the same people on board for the next Shazam movie, and everything. I think it's supposed to be out within the next few years, hopefully. Hopefully it don't take too long, because, I mean, the kids are going to start growing up. But I just really love this one and everything. So it's number 3, and number 2 is Avengers Endgame. Easily one of my favorite movies from this year. I absolutely love it. I love that it's like I love how the movie is made. It's just like 3 different stories in one big movie. Like the first movie is like them accepting that they lost and all that and everything, and then it goes 5 years into the future and they are going back in time and everything, so it becomes a buddy time travel movie, which is really fun. And then the big epic finale, which is one of the most epic scenes in MCU history and superhero movies in general. Just that epic scene where everybody from all of the previous movies like team up and go against Thanos and his army. It's just a ton of fun and everything. The 11 years of build up to this movie really paid off, and I don't think that they could have ended some of these characters' arcs any better than they did. It's just an amazing movie. So Avengers Endgame is number 2, and number 1 is Logan. It's not been another superhero movie that's came out this decade that moved me the way that movie did. Of course, growing up, I was 8 years old when I saw X-Men the first time, and getting to see your childhood hero go through the stuff he does in this movie really hit me in the feels and everything, and it was a really, really great way to end the X-Men franchise if they would have stopped with this one. Personally, I think they should have. I mean, Dark Phoenix was okay, but I think Logan should have just been the complete end of the X-Men franchise for Fox. Hugh Jackman was amazing in this movie. The cinematography is great. Daphne Keane as X-23 was awesome and stole every scene she was in. Patrick Stewart gave one of his best performances, and I just absolutely love this movie. It's such a great movie, and James Mangold's directing is amazing, and the cinematography is great, and words can't really express how much I love Logan. It's just such a great movie. So it's easily my number 1 favorite superhero movie of the 2010s. So let me know in the comments what your favorite superhero movies of the 2010s are. You can tell me your top 10 or just your favorite one or whatever. Yeah, I know I didn't include Joker, which I think is one of the best movies of the decade as well, but since Joker isn't a superhero, I didn't want to put him in here. That's also why Suicide Squad and Venom were on here, because technically they're not really superheroes. So although Venom was more of a hero but I just didn't want to put those on there because they're more villain movies. And like I said, most of the MCU movies that I didn't mention are ones that I love, and I just couldn't fit them all in here. So any of the certain ones, it's not because I don't like them or anything. They're all great and everything. So but anyway, hope you enjoyed this video, and have a good day, everybody.
This is the song that doesn't end. Yes, it goes on and on, my friend.
That's enough, guys.
Some people started singing it, not knowing what it was, and they'll continue singing it forever just because this is the song that doesn't end.
How do I turn you on?